This is recording. Welcome to my drawing studio. Am I peeking? Okay, right. It's time to draw again. Today I'm revisiting one of my large-scale origami street art murals I painted a few months ago, focusing on blending techniques using oil-based color pencils. Hello, my name is Airborne Mike and I'm mad about painting and drawing paper texture and origami. I'm really excited about today because I really want to prolong the legacy of this mural. Originally, I painted it with Aspire, and because I've already put so much effort into design and folding of this amazing model, so I thought to myself, let me draw it and let me document my journey of mastering this medium and also share with you some tips that I've already learned. First of all, let's talk quickly about the materials I'm using. I'm drawing on 80 grams sepia tone paper. I wish it was a bit thicker. I'm using a range of Polychromos oil-based color pencils. Also, I'm using a selection of very practical drawing tools. So without much further ado, let's jump into it. So I already pre-sketched the artwork to save the time, and it is based on my own reference that I took for the original design of the mural. I refer to these color swatches to better understand transition of color on toned paper. Oil-based pencils have much harder lead than wax ones, which makes them perfect for drawing fine details, like edges of folded paper. I always start with the lightest color, applying medium hard pressure to preserve the highlight. Then I start adding colors in circular motion. I start soft with the side of the lead and change value of a color by adding on more layers. For the deepest shadows, I'm using black sharpened to a fine point, pressing on hard, then going softer and softer. This is my favorite part. For drawing lines of the lined paper on the origami model, I'm using one color and change pressure to achieve different value of it. Constantly, I'm turning the pencil round and round to find lead's sharpest point for those crucial highlights. Drawing origami is all about capturing the edge of a piece of paper. I go from the lightest color to the darkest, then I go over softly with the mid-tone to blend it. And of course, go over with the lightest near the highlight to achieve a smooth, natural transition. Alrighty, the bird is finished. It's 2:45 a.m. in the morning. This took me 6 hours, which is approximately a small mural I would paint. Just a comparison. Well, the bird. I think it's a step up from the previous video with a very basic origami illustration. It's been a while, but I'm tired. I'm really chuffed how it came about. Anyway, enough for now. I'm going to bed. Coloring this hand needs a different approach than the drawing paper, mainly because I'm working with the tone of the paper itself as being my mid-tone of the skin color from my reference. So I'm blending the highlights and dark tones with the color of the paper itself. I draw lightly with the side of the lead. When working with toned paper, I rely a lot on the mechanical fine rubber. I'm softly taking off the layers to expose those mid-tone areas of fingers and palms. There's lots of try and error involved. The red and green light sources are very complex, especially on a human hand. Irregularity of a human form requires a different understanding than drawing planes of an origami form. I color in the whole hand roughly, and only when everything is done, I work into it, focusing on smoother transition and tonality of particular colors to achieve the overall look I'm after. This is the last stage of the drawing that is very challenging, as I don't draw or paint any spherical shapes at all. Here, I'm learning as I go, figuring out what works or not, following the general principles I've already shared with you in this video. Here is where I'm burnishing the most. I am using heavy pressure to the pencil, which pushes color deep into the tooth of the paper. Burnishing is a great coloring technique as long as you are on the last layer. There is no going back. Last stage is to add highlights. Using only color pencil is not vibrant enough. So I'm using a paint marker for the brightest reflections, smudging them with my finger. Lastly, to blend it with the pencil underneath, I burnish the paint with the pencil highlight for a softer look. And as always, if something's missing, it means it needs more splatter. It needs more expression. But careful not to fuck it up. I'm using spray paint to add to the background. Also, I've masked the drawing to protect it. The only disadvantage of it is that using too much paint may buckle the paper. Solution? Less is more. Finally, the drawing is finished. It took me actually a week to get to this point. I was working just a few hours every evening. Anyhow, I'm really pleased with it, especially with the bird. I think this origami model drawing is my best to date. As far as hand, I think I could have done the gradation of the colors into the mid-tone a bit better. I hope you found this video very helpful and full of value. Which of the versions of this design you prefer? In here, drawing pencils, or as a large-scale mural I spray painted a few months ago? Check the video here. My name is Airborne Mark, Origami Riot, folding all day, every day, and I'm out. Have you subscribed yet? Subscribe.